all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I welcome you all to this expert lecture program. Expert lecture will be taken by Mr. Kuldeep Verma sir, who is present here. So, before starting the program, I invite our professors and chief guests to do Deep Prajwalan and Ganesh Vandana. Please welcome sir.
निर्विघ्न महाकाय
After taking the blessings of Ganpati Bappa on the very auspicious occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi today, we are going to start the program. First of all, I would like to Professor Arjun Mehta, guest speaker, and introduce him to the audience. Please welcome him.
Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
I welcome Mr. Kuldeep Verma to deliver a lecture on the technology and formulation of the photo coating. And before that, I will introduce him. He has done his BTech in paint technology in 1989, and I was fortunate enough to have his company during my studies also. I have done my BTech in 1988 and he has done in 1989. When I was in MTech, he was pursuing his BTech degree, and he is a very good friend of mine. After completing his BTech from SBTI, he joined or he started his career in the region manufacturing company, Hardcastle, and there he got the expertise in the formulation and manufacturing of the different type of the resins which were used in the paint industry. And at that time, Hardcastle was one of the few companies who was making the resin for the paint industries. After that, he switched over to the rapid coating, who was engaged in the manufacturing of the powder coating. From there, he switched over to the powder coating, and still he is working in the powder coating area. After working with the Paramount companies and so many companies, around 30 years of working in the powder coating. He has started his own consultancy company, Sai Chemical Cycle. The company is the Sai Consultancy. And nowadays he is a figure in the powder coating in India, and he is running his own YouTube channel, powder coating, where he regularly delivering his stock. Powder coating. So I welcome Mr. Kuldeep Verma, and I request him to deliver.
Thank you, Dr. Arun Mathani ji. He was, as he told, he was just my senior in 88. So in 89, I joined the first company who introduced powder coating in India, the hard pressure and roll. They started in 86. The company was in Kalyan. So when they started another unit in Sarigam, which is now the Asian Paint, the same company, Asian has purchased in 2006. So I was shifted to Sarigam unit. Then I started as a consultant in the paint industry. So Rapid was making, if you can have the Rapid tank, water tank container. So then I gave the project to him, and they started the powder coating in Okla. Now they are in Saibaba. Then I joined the company Paramount UK. They have a subsidiary in India, Paramount India Limited. It is in Gurgaon, already in powder coating. And then I went to Saudi Arabia for 1 year. There again in powder coating. It was in rebar coating also, the UCI code in Dammam. Then I came back to India and I started a profit sharing company with one partner, the Sharp Coating, in 2001. In 2013, I left that company. I started two companies, Sai Consultancy into technical consultancy to powder coating field, and Dorex Chemical Private Limited, that is into raw material distribution for the, especially for powder coating and paint also. And now we have another sister concern in Kanpur also, Ya Enterprises. They are also into raw material distribution. So, my friend, this powder coating is now growing because all the paint applicators, they are shifting from liquid paint to powder coating because the cost effective and the production rate in powder coating is high, because in powder coating there is no primer is used. This maybe you have getting the knowledge into third year or final year, this powder coating. This powder coating you are teaching in third year or final year? Okay. Okay. Well, so in powder coating there is no primary use. Directly after surface preparation, we are applying the powder coating, and after powder coating, the substrate has to be cured for certain time, and the overspray powder we can reuse. That is not possible in liquid paint. That is why powder coating is coming up. So I will show you some. I want this session should be interactive, not just I am teaching you like that. This is my profile. After 2013, we have started so many companies. Some are into powder application and most are into powder manufacturing. There are around 40 companies. And these last three, they are not in India, they are abroad. One Turkish and USA like that. We got some awards also. So this powder coating is not much different than liquid paint. But most the difference, anybody can say, what is the difference between liquid paint and powder coating? Sorry? Yes. This is a 100% solid powder, right? In liquid paint, 40 to 50% is the solid part, other is the solvent. So if anybody want to use the powder coating, so means he can use the 100% of the product what he is using. Because in liquid paint, the loss is around 60%, that is solvent. And the air pollution is also there. The ingredients are the same in powder coating also. The resin, pigments, extenders, and additives also. So this is just basic. I don't want to spend much more time over here. So powder coating can be used on any substrate which can withstand the temperature of 200 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. मतलब उसका जो shape है वो change नहीं होता है. Like glass, ceramics, wood, and any metal, you can use this. This I have given some examples. So the development of powder coating is like earlier the paints were solvent based, then water based coating, then high solid paints were used so that the solvent, the loss should be minimized. Then the powder coating came. So this is the introduction. And the powder coating, as I told you, you can use 99% of the powder. You can use on the substrate, and you can reuse the overspray powder again. So this is what is powder coating? Anyone can say what is powder coating? And there is actually one misnomer. What we are using or you are studying, the powder coating, that is okay. But if any company produces the paint, that is not powder coating. This is misnomer in the market. That is coating powder. They are producing the coating powder, not the powder coating. But most people earlier they were writing on their boxes, this is powder coating. But now when I told them, now they are printing powder for powder coating. When this powder gets applied and cured on the substrate, after curing it is powder coating. So, what are the benefits of powder coating? The superior sketch resistance. This powder coating behaves like a plastic paint. So, sketch resistance is more as compared to liquid paint. Then superior chemical resistance, because the chemical resistance of epoxy resin is best. So most of the powder coating are epoxy polyester. The main resin is epoxy polyester. So chemical resistance is also good. Then superior impact. Impact means mechanical properties. Why change to powder coating from liquid paint? Because this is greater durability of the powder coating. This cost competitive because there is no primaries used. So production rate of the product end product is fast. Then eliminate the environment issues for all because there is no solvent. Custom colors available. Textured finishes available. You can make any texture like in liquid. Hammer tone, texture, structure, all finishes you can make. So excellent silk screen result over powder. Now you can see the curtain rods. They are metal, but you can see they are like a wooden finishes. That is paper transfer. That I will give you one video. So this is application part. The powder coating is applied on the substrate by electrostatic gun. Why this is electrostatic gun? Because when powder comes from the nozzle of the gun, it gets negative charge. That is why it is electrostatic gun. There is another gun, if you can heard, the proton gun. Into that, powder gets positive charge. But electrostatic gun is widely used. This is the corona. Then powder from this pipe comes. This is electrodes are there. Here one generator transformer is there with 90,000 volt. From 220 volt, 90,000 volt. So from this electrode, when powder comes, it gets negatively charged and the substrate should be earth. So that will attract the powder and it gets deposited. But this is a physical burning. You have to make it cured also. So for that, you have to put in the oven. This is proton gun, tribo gun or proton gun. This is a setup of powder application booth. So you can see the gun, it is spraying the powder. The overspray powder is depositing on this candle. This is dust collector, you can say. So from outside, only fresh air is going. So there is no air pollution. And whatever the powder, overspray powder deposited coming over here, you can reuse. अब हम लोग आते हैं पाउडर कोटिंग में. So in powder coating, the main resins used are epoxy resin, polyester resin. There are 2-3 types of polyester resin. One is COH bond, yani carboxyl terminated end, and another is OH hydroxyl terminated end. So can anybody say what are the ingredients for epoxy resin?
Epichlorohydrin and bisphenol A are reacted. And
Yes.
TEPA structure is formed.
Yes. So in powder coating, all the raw material should be in powder form or solid form. There is nothing in liquid or semi-solid, right? So the epoxy resin used in powder coating, the epoxy equivalent weight That is the main factor. That should be 700 to 800. And the specificity is 1.2. This is very light. So, just for your reference, I am giving some formula. But this is a basic formula. So, as you can see, this is glossy finishes, glossy. The indicators are getting changed, right? So this epoxy resin and polyester resin. Polyester resin is the combination of NPG, neopentaglycol, and MEG, monoethylene glycol, and PTA, and some catalyst also. That is also into either flex form or granule form. So, the polyester resin, this is epoxy polyester. This is well known in the market as a hybrid coating. Epoxy polyester is the hybrid coating. So here, the polyester used, the chemistry is, one is 50-50. Means in the formulation, you have to use 50% epoxy resin and 50% polyester resin, as I have shown in here. This. So epoxy resin 30, out of 100, this is 30 kg, 30%, or 50 polyester resin, that be 30%. So this is 50-50 ratio. Another chemistry is 70-30. Like this. This is cost effective because here 70% is polyester and 30% is epoxy. Cost wise, epoxy is costly. So these are the hardeners. Hardeners actually in powder coating, they are used as a curing agent also as well as matting agent. As you increase the hardener value, hardener quantity, and you decrease the polyester resin because polyester resin gives the glossy finishes. So you reduce from the formulation you see, you reduce the polyester resin, you increases the hardener. Here I mentioned the gloss value at 45 degree. Here it is 90 and slowly it is coming down. So you can see 70-30 polyester from 42, 30, 15, 10, 5. So it is going on the lower value. So if we increase the hardener, that gives true quality, curing as well as matting. So other ingredient of the like liquid paint, the pigments. What type of pigments are used in liquid paint? Pigments, if you have any idea. No, what types of pigment? Yes, inorganic and organic. So inorganic is like middle chrome, lemon chrome, chromes. Yeah, these are inorganic, and organics are. What is the basic difference between inorganic and organic pigments? Any idea?
The organic pigments are very fine in size because of which they can be transferred.
Yes. Any pigment, their strength, printing strength is more. So they are in a very less amount in the formulation. You can say organic pigment should be used 6 to 8%, while inorganic you can use up to 25%. So here I have given black formula only for your reference. This carbon black is used in powder coating. If you use rubber grade carbon black, if you heard the name N220 and 330, So that should be 1%. And if you use better carbon that give more jetness, so you can reduce the quantity. You can go up to 0.6%, like carbon pearl, FW200 from Digusha. They are very costly also. You can use very less amount. Okay. So what is extender? If you extender, if anyone can say. Extender what you have heard?
Yes, sir.
What is extender? Some people are saying it is a. I always use extender word because this is cost effective heading problem. You can name any extender which gives the opacity. Which extender gives the opacity? सॉरी बोले बोले डर क्यों रहे हो? कोई एग्जाम में थोड़ी हो रहा है यार. नहीं, बेरियम सल्फेट और बेराइट. This gives the slightly hiding power. And the basic difference between barium sulfate and barite, if anybody can say, थोड़ा सा आप लोग इन्वॉल्व होइए मेरे साथ यार. बेरियम सल्फेट एंड बेराइट में क्या डिफरेंस है? Very good. Is the synthetic process? Yes. Yes. Barium sulfate is precipitated process, and barite is they take lumps from the mines, they wash it, and they grind for a particle size, required particle size. So, like barite, there is one extender more. Calcium carbonate and calcite. So calcite is the natural raw material, and calcium carbonate is the synthetic. So there are other also like silica, mica, talc, china clay, whiting. But in powder coating, only 3 extenders are used: barite, calcite, and sometimes in texture finishes you can use talcum. Because in talcum, the oil absorption is more. So for giving texture, you can use. So here these are only smoke finishes. I have taken the formula. Maybe if I'll see I have any texture formula, I will show you. So the additive are flow additive, benzoin, hydrogenated castor oil, HCO. This is a derivative of castor oil. And wax. Polyethylene waxes are used for the scratch resistance property. Right? So flow, actually this is a liquid flow. If you have heard the name Acronal 4F. Anybody heard the name Acronal 4F? It is used in the liquid paint. So for making use in the powder coating, the Acronal 4F is absorbed on the fumed silica with the active content around 50% to 70%. Rest is fumed silica. So, if active content is 50, the fumed silica is more. So, in the market, some people getting on a cheap, low value. But I always recommend you should use more active content product, because into more active you have to use less quantity of the fluorative. So if low quantity of the fluorative is there, fumed silica will be less, because the oil absorption of fumed silica is very high, around 120. So with the higher active content, the fumed silica will be less, and you have to use less quantity also. So finish will be better. This benzoin, yes. Benzoin is used. Normally the boiling point of the water is 100 or 99. when this powder is applied on the substrate and it is cured in the oven, there is a reaction between epoxy and polyester. So water of reaction comes out of the reaction. So if benzoin is not there, that water will penetrate through the surface. Because when we put the substrate coated with the powder in the oven at 200 degrees centigrade for the 10 minutes, in starting 2 minutes, it will get melt, flow, but after 2 minutes, it will not flow. Because it got gel, right? It is hard form, it will not flow. So, when water reaction penetrates from the film, it will give some pinholes. To remove that water reaction at a lower temperature, maybe 70, 80 degree, before 2 minutes of the melting. So all the water reaction will go. That is why this benzoin is used. You can say the word anti-casing agent for the benzoin. This is a trade name. Then hydrogenated castor oil. This is a thermoplastic. This is very good point. What the powder coating we are discussing? What type of this powder coating? Sorry? Bolo. No. Yes. What we are discussing, this is thermosetting plastic powder. But thermoplastic powder is polyethylene powder. Yes, PE, PP, like that. Polyethylene powder. So that is granules of polyethylene. That is colored with a master batch of the pigment in the extruder. And okay, what is the difference between thermosetting powder and thermoplastic powder? If anybody can say. What is the main difference of thermoplastic and thermosetting powder? Yes. Exactly. Very good. Please make a clap for him. The thermoplastic powder, you can remelt and you can reuse. But in thermosetting, they cannot be remelted. Once it is set, that is good. So based on the resin, the chemistry are different. Now we have given the slide of epoxy polyester. There is another powder. This is pure polyester. So basically it is depend on the resin and the property required from the customer. If powder is used for indoor application, where sunlight or UV light is not required, there epoxy polyester can be used. But for outdoor application, only this pure polyester should be used. So here, the polyester is different. This is carboxyl polyester, but chemistry or raw material are different. So in epoxy polyester, the epoxy is used as a curing agent for the polyester. But here, the TGIC, triglyceridyl isocyanurate, this is used as a curing agent for polyester resin. The ratio is 93:7. Means whatever the resin we are using, out of total resin, 93% should be polyester resin and 7% should be TGIC. But one lacuna arises in Europe because TGIC is carcinogenic. So they banned TGIC. So another, this hardener HAA. This is a brand name HAA. So this comes, this is the chemistry. For the polyester resin should be different, and TGIC and polyester the chemistry is 93.7, but here chemistry is 95.5. Means polyester should be 95% out of total resin. The polyester should be 95, and the hardener should be 5%. So this is cost effective also, and in Europe this pure polyester is used. Here I have used the formula for white color. So I used the titanium. You know, for the proper hiding power, the titanium should be from 20 to 22%. If you use less titanium, the hiding power will not be there. The color of the substrate, you can get the not opaque film proper. So for again for glossy finishes, barium sulfate is used. Barite is not recommended for glossy finishes, but barite, calcite, they are used for the matte or semi-glossy finishes. But again, in pure polyester, calcite or calcium carbonate is not used because their boiling water resistance is poor. So in pure polyester, calcite and calcium carbonate is not recommended. Only barium sulfate or barite is used. This flow, benzoin, HCO, wax, they are the same. But PP matting agent, here it is different. Because in epoxy polyester, the same hardener that gives curing as well as matting. But here, for matting finishes, in pure polyester, different matting agent is used. So, if you increase the value to 5, 10, the gloss level increases, decreases 60, 40, 10 like that. And based on chemistry of the resin, there is another type of powder coating from epoxy polyester, pure polyester, and polyurethane also. This is, so what are the main ingredients for polyurethane resin? Means to make polyurethane, what should be the ingredient?
Diols and diisocyanates are the end.
Okay. So this polyester is different. As in epoxy polyester and pure polyester, the polyester is carboxyl terminated. So carboxyl group reacted with the TGIC or epoxy resin. Actually, TGIC is also a type of epoxy. Right? So here the polyester should be, as you told, the polyols. So this should be hydroxyl terminated. So it is reacted with the isocyanate. But in powder coating, in liquid paint, isocyanate in liquid form is available. But in powder coating, liquid we cannot use. So liquid isocyanate is blocked with mercaptan. Yes, blocked isocyanate. This is used in formulation, and this unblocking is done at 180 degrees centigrade, so it gets reacted. Other ingredients are the same. Yes. Yes. Yes, it is sorted. It is in tablet form. It is in bottle. Yes. तो ये तो फॉर्मूला हो गया. अब आपको कुछ हम वीडियो दिखाते हैं जिसमें कि मशीन के पार्ट एंड कैसे पाउडर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होती है. अभी यहाँ तक कोई क्वेश्चन है आप लोग का? कुछ मशीन हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं ना. This is extruder. So there are two types of extruder are used in powder coating. One is single screw based on the technology. One is single screw. In world, only Bosch is making single screw extruder. No other company is making. All other extruder are, anybody can say, twin. But there is another technical term that is very important. Co-rotating twin screw. Okay? Because both these screw getting in the same direction. If they are getting in opposite direction, it is called counter rotating twin screw. So this is single screw. This is single screw. If I will show the video. The powder over here, these are conveying screw. Then from here, from up to here, this is solid because in the barrel, the temperature, there are three. In first zone, temperature is around 30 to 40 degree. Temperature is around 70 to 80 degree. In the last zone, it is 100 degree. So, in the starting, it is in liquid solid form. Getting kneaded, here it gets melted, and here these are called element of one screw. The with 90 degree different melted nowadays that I have taken the picture in the machine. It was placed on the table. The uniform distribution will be there. Like that. This is a very close picture of the element. So this is like this end should be at 90 degree to here. These are some photographs of the Chinese machines. This is extruder. This is pre-mixing, the first stage of the powder coating for making powder. This is the first stage. Payment, you have to pre-mix the all ingredients. So these two types of mixer are used. This one is high-speed disperser. HSD is called, and that is double cone mixer. That is slow mixing. Suppose this will take 2 minutes, and that mixing will take half an hour, like that. Yeah. Yes. Actually, it depends on the color to color. Yes. If on the white you are making ivory, there is no need of thorough cleaning. But chemistry should be same. If earlier batch is of epoxy polyester and next production is of epoxy polyester of the similar color, then there is no much cleaning is required. But if chemistry is changing, even in the same color, you have to totally clean the barrel with the help of MEK. Yes, methyl ethyl ketone is the true solvent for epoxy. This is a very good question. The cleaning part is very important in powder coating. Otherwise, the one powder will get contaminated and it will give contamination in application and also. वहाँ पर भी MEK से हो जाता है. या आप एसीटोन भी यूज कर सकते हैं. So mixing, then extruder. Third part is this mill. If anybody can say which mill is used, the name of this machine, if anybody can say. किसी को पता भाई? नहीं, एनुअल मिल इज तो लिक्विड के लिए रहती है. इसको बोलते हैं एयर क्लासिफाइड मिल, एसीएम. बिकॉज इसमें जो पार्टिकल साइज है वो हमको कई बार बिलो 10 माइक्रोन भी ले जाना पड़ता है. अगर बहुत फाइन नहीं चाहिए तो हम लोग पल्वराइजर नॉर्मल यूज कर सकते हैं, बट इन फोटो कोटिंग पल्वराइजर यूज नहीं होता है, एसीएम है. इसके बाद जेट मिल और आती है. ये एक नई टेक्नोलॉजी और आई है प्री मिक्सिंग के लिए. जैसे नॉर्मल ये देखिए हाई स्पीड डिस्पर्सर में हमने क्या दिखाया था, वो फिक्स है. नीचे मोटर से इसको मूव कर रहे हैं. जैसे घर में हमारे कॉफी मिक्सी होती है ना, किचन हाँ वॉशिंग मशीन, किचन मिक्सी जो है, सेम वही कॉन्सेप्ट है हाई स्पीड डिस्पर्सर में. बट दिस इज कंटेनर मिक्सर. इसमें ये जो कंटेनर है ये रिमूव हो जाता है. यहाँ से इनको जैक हटा के इस कंटेनर को हम निकाल लेंगे, उससे मटेरियल सारा डाल के बाद उसके बाद ये कंटेनर इन्वर्ट हो जाता है, यानी मोटर नीचे आ जाएगी. These type of mixer are more efficient because in high speed disperser not getting inverted. That is not possible in container. And here you can mix 1 ton of the pre-mixing also. In high speed disperser only up to 400 kg you can mix. ये extruder, after extruder, these are chilling bed. I will show you the full video. From the front, if you see the barrel, it will look like this. From where the paste coming from the extruder, it will look like this. This is single screw.
The raw material passes through the primary feed throat or downstream feed ports and drops onto the rotating screws. With the counter-rotating intermeshing screws, the intermesh of the two screws causes a positive conveying type of transport of the raw material. Counter-rotating, closely intermeshing extruders have a relatively small opening between the channels of the two rotating screws. As a result, the closely intermeshing screw flights trap the material, and as they rotate, each revolution of the screws forces a fixed amount of plastic forward. Co-rotating, intermeshing twin screws are not a positive displacement pump, but they do have some positive conveying characteristics. Although the intermesh of this co-rotating twin appears tight, a cross-section view of the screws reveals the large opening in the channel and intermesh region. Where the flight has closed off the channel, the flow is pumped, as in positive conveying. But where the flow has room to circulate and pass from one screw to the other, the melt flow behaves more like drag flow. Drag flow is when friction, due to the rotation of the screws, drags the raw material forward. Drag flow and positive conveying are discussed thoroughly in Lesson 4.
ये मिक्सिंग के बारे में from the extruder main hopper, the premix comes with the feeding screw in the barrel of the extruder. एक्सट्रूडर का मैं आपको दूसरा वीडियो दिखाता हूँ. ये जो ऊपर से प्रीमिक्स आ रहा था, when it goes into the barrel, the homogenized paste comes from the extruder, and this is placed in the chilled roll. In the chilled roll, the around 5 degree temperature, the water is circulated. So the temperature of this paste is around 140 degree. In any case, this should not be more than 140 degree. If this is 130 degree, that is okay. Because at 140 or 150 degree, the reaction between the resin and hardener, it started. You cannot stop that reaction. Slowly it will go on. So the temperature should be 130 to 140. And this molten material gets on the chilled roll, so it makes chips form. So this molten material, when it comes on the chilled roll, it makes a solid sheet. Like this. Then material, this sheet is coming on the chill belt. At the end, the crusher are there. So they make small chips out of this solid sheet. Here you can see. last, these chips should be put in the air classified mill. This is the main hopper where we put the chips in combination with fumed silica. Fumed silica is used in here before grinding. So it will help in fluoridation of the powder. So powder will get proper fluorized at the application end. Whole powder is the carrier is emitting. In the last, there is a blower fan is attached with the mill that sucks the air from the internal pipe. So the grounded powder gets lifted. It will go through passing through the pipe. There is a part cyclone. So at the cyclone, you will get the proper powder. And the powder below 10 micron, that is get collected into dust collector. This blue, that is the dust collector. So the waste, the powder coming into dust collector, that is waste because that is very fine. You cannot use. And if you want to use, you again it is to be put as a raw material in the formulation. अभी यहाँ तक कोई क्वेश्चन है भाई आप लोग का? जी सॉरी yeah, sure. Every particle size should be checked in 3 C's. 32 micron, 64 micron, 80 and 100. So 32 micron, it should be 28 to 35. It means 30 plus minus 2, you can say. In 63 micron, this should be 70% passing. This is all passing. But now Melbourne master sizer is used. This is computerized device for checking the computerized particle size distribution. Yeah. So there we get D50. Yani D50 means the average particle size more than 50%. This depends on the customer. The minimum should be 40 to 50 micron. But sometimes in the pipe or some other coating, 60 to 70% DFT is also used. 50 to 60 DFT, what I was using for the smooth finishes. But if it is in texture or structure, you have to go 70, 80 micron. Sorry? No, 50 to 70, minimum 50 micron. If you want to use less DFT, that is the formulation will change. That is called thin layer powder coating. That is again a chemistry. Thin layer powder coating. Their filler are not used. More than 60% is the resin, and pigment are used much more. So it will give opacity in the lower film thickness. Here I have shown some part of the ACM method. This is the full flow diagram of the powder coating unit, where the weighing, then pre-mixing, then comes into extruder and ACM, like that. This I have shown. This is a very close look of the extruder. These are part of the ACM mill. This is grinding disc. Grinding discs are of two types. For grinding purpose, here I have shown the blocks, but there are pins are also used for grinding. This is very fast moving disc, maybe 5000 RPM. So this disc is placed here in the ring. So when this is impact grinding, the disc floats the chips on this ring, and by impact they are getting into powder form, converted into powder form. This is classifier. So the impact grinding is the main mechanism is one grinding disc, and classifier is put on the from different motor. It is put from the up the disc, grinding disc. So it gives resistance so that powder should not come up, right? So when the powder gets required particle size, then it gets up into the cyclone. Yeah, this is inside of the grinding mill, like this. That this grinding disc is here, and this is classifier. So this and classifier moves in opposite direction. These are the part, and after making powder, it should be sieved through 140 mesh. These are all part internal. So in extruder, the chilled water is used to maintain the temperature, and in ACM, chilled air is used, so that because during grinding there is heat generation also. To overcome that heat generation, chilled air is required. If the temperature of chilled air is more than 20 degrees, so powder gets melted inside the mill also. So it should be below 16 degrees in any case. Now I am showing some powder application. Here cloth cabinet is getting coated with the powder. This is electricity gun where 90 kilovolt temperature is set. All settings are there. The powder display and delivery of the powder you can set. Means if you want more powder, you want less powder, you can set in the gun. You see. और इसमें जो भी ओवर स्प्रे पाउडर हो रहा है उसको बूथ में कलेक्ट करके सीव करके देन वी कैन यूज, और इसके बाद में कोटिंग के बाद में इसको ओवन में डालना पड़ेगा. Because this is a big item, so rail is used, roller are used to put in the oven. like this. Through rails, this is put in the oven. The oven are of two types. This is batch type oven. Means for 10 to 20 minutes, you have to put that item into the oven. And in batch type, the ovens are of two types. Single door oven, double door oven. You can put the item from one side, you can remove from the other side. That is double door oven. And if production rate is very high, like in automotive industry, you can use the conveyorized conveyors. Onto that, the substrate are placed, and that is passing through the booth automatically through the conveyor.
Hi, I'm Mark from LPC. Today, we're gonna make this back cover look cool.
This is powder application. Then he will put it to the oven. This is different color is used. You can use any color. This is the first the piece they put it. So they have grinded the surface because this is embossed part is there. So they grounded and it looks very beautiful. There is another technology, paper transfer.
Today we're going to teach you about hydrographic printing, sometimes known as water transfer printing. Even if you've never heard of hydrographic printing, it's likely you have something finished in this way. Camouflage shotguns and the burlwood finishes on interiors of many new cars and trucks are finished in this process. Hydrographics can be applied to virtually anything that can be painted. Hydrographic printing is a process of taking an oil-based film that is laid on the surface of water and then quickly transferred to a part. There are all kinds of different films on the market, from exotic woods, marble, carbon fiber, and even to extremes such as money and camouflage. While the details are in the film, what really brings out the panel's life is the base coat. After selecting our desired burlwood pattern, we measured the amount of film we needed and cut it to the correct length. After warming the water in a specifically designed stainless steel tank to 106 degrees, we carefully laid the transfer film on the surface of the water. The aluminum bars on either side of the film help maintain the working position in the tank, while we carefully push out any air trapped beneath the film. We had to complete this step before the backing material dissolved. After 40 seconds, the gel is fully dissolved. Then we spray the film surface with an activator that enables the film to adhere to the panel.
So this activator dissolves the film, but the printing gets coated on the bottom. transfer are too tight, this is
You
cold
then
process.
hold the panel at an angle and slowly lower it in the film and into the water. This technique prevents air from becoming trapped and allows the film to roll around the edges and pass through. Every part requires a little different technique for best results. After the panel has been completely submerged in the water tank, the remaining film on the surface is pushed aside before pulling the panel back out. The recently dipped panel shows the gel-like backing still clinging to the panel. At this point, the paint
Cleaning
is
with the
set.
water.
The only thing left to do is to remove the gel backing. Removing the sheet is simply a matter of washing off.
This transfer is basically nothing but like this children get to the same thing, the paper transfer. So another technique, this is cold process, another is hot process. Into that, after substrate get powder, paper is wrapped with the help of a gum and again put into the oven for 5 minutes at around 140 degrees centigrade, and they remove the paper. So whatever design on the paper, it gets transferred into the substrate. All these curtain rods, now they are getting coated like this. If you feel it is metal, but the design is of wooden, so that is paper transfer. So this is all powder manufacturing. Now we comes into testing of the powder. You can note down this IS. This IS number is for powder coating only. Yeah. All standards for government organization, it is mentioned all over here. You can note, yeah, please. Maybe revised version is there. This is 1993 version. Yeah, these are the standard. All the parameters for the government things are there. All gloss level for matte finishes, like that. I'll give some idea of the pre-treatment circuit. This is basically 7-tank or 9-tank system. The de-rusting, degreasing, phosphating, passivation. These are 4 main chemicals are used. In between, there are water tank also to make it wash. So that is 7-tank or 9-tank system. Why pre-treatment? To promote the addition of the organic coating, because this auto coating seems to be organic coating, and to improve the corrosion resistance, like that. This degreasing, water rinsing, activation, phosphate, water rinse, passivation, and DM water rinsing. After that, powder coating is used. And before degreasing, if there is a rust on the MSPs, de-rusting is used with the help of acid. अगर एक्चुअली जाएगा बहुत टाइम चाहिए भाई। पाउडर की टेस्टिंग दो तरह से होती है, एक तो पाउडर इटसेल्फ और फिर क्योरिंग के बाद। पाउडर इटसेल्फ में जो टेस्टिंग होनी है वो स्पेसिफिक ग्रेविटी और पार्टिकल साइज एनालिसिस, ये दो मेन इंपॉर्टेंट हैं। क्योरिंग के बाद में थिकनेस, ग्लॉस, मैकेनिकल प्रॉपर्टी जिसमें इम्पैक्ट और कपिंग, ये दो टेस्ट आते हैं। देन क्रॉस एच उसके एडिशन के लिए अगेन जैसे रॉ मटेरियल में भी हमारे टेस्टिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है पाउडर कोटिंग में, क्योंकि हमारा जो पाउडर का डिस्पर्सन है लिक्विड पेट में अगर डिस्पर्सन प्रॉपर नहीं आया, ह्यूमन गेज पे हमने चेक किया तो हम आधा घंटा और चला सकते हैं, बट यहाँ पर हमारा डिस्पर्सन टोटली एक्सट्रूडर में हो रहा है एंड दैट इज फॉर 7 to 10 सेकेंड्स, उतना देर में पाउडर बाहर आ जाता है। तो यानी जो हमारे रॉ मटेरियल है उनका पार्टिकल साइज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ज़्यादा कोर्स नहीं लेना है हमें, फाइन चाहिए सारा। जितने भी एक्सटेंडर हैं बिलो 500 मैस, ये मान लीजिए 5 माइक्रोन या 500 700 मैस चाहिए एक्सटेंडर जितने भी हैं, और हाई प्योरिटी के चाहिए जिसमें कि लेड कंटेंट बिलो 40 कि जो हम सप्लाई दे रहे हैं पाउडर वो किस एंड पे कहाँ जाएगा। तो अगर वहाँ पर लेड कंटेंट ज़्यादा हो रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा। और पाउडर के जो पिगमेंट्स हैं जी, नहीं एक बहुत पिगमेंट के तो जो वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि टिंटिंग स्टेज अच्छी होगी टिंटिंग स्ट्रेंथ और रिड्यूसिंग पावर में क्या डिफरेंस है?
सब कलर पिगमेंट की टिंटिंग होती है और
Very good.
वाइट पिगमेंट
रिड्यूसिंग
वाइट पिगमेंट
एग्जैक्टली, मतलब टेस्टिंग तो दोनों की सेम हुई। तो टिंटिंग स्ट्रेंथ हम कैसे चेक करेंगे?
सर एक सैंपल लेते हैं पहले
हाँ।
और उसका एक स्टैंडर्ड के साथ
यानी हम पहले व्हाइट लेंगे एज ए बेस, उसमें जिस कलर की टिंटिंग स्ट्रेंथ चेक करनी है उसका सपोज 5 ग्राम हमने व्हाइट लिया है, तो अगर ऑर्गेनिक पिगमेंट है तो हम 0.1 ग्राम लेंगे, इनऑर्गेनिक है तो 1 ग्राम भी ले सकते हैं, और उसका मिक्स बना के
सेम अमाउंट पे मिक्सचर बनाएंगे, उसके बाद दोनों को अप्लाई करके देखेंगे एक स्टैंडर्ड होगा, उससे हमने
अभी
कितनी
बेस तो बनाएंगे आपने, अप्लाई कैसे करेंगे?
फिर पहले पेस्ट बनाएंगे
Yes.
उसके बाद उसको अप्लाई करके
पेस्ट
देखेंगे।
किस में बनाएंगे? पेस्ट किस चीज में बनाएंगे? बैठ जाओ। लिंसेड ऑयल बनाएंगे। लिंसेड ऑयल को हम ग्लास प्लेट के ऊपर रखे और स्टील स्पेसिडा है उससे मिक्स करते हैं, जिससे कि हमको तब तक मिक्स करेंगे जब तक यूनिफॉर्म कलर नहीं आ जाए। अगर यूनिफॉर्म कलर नहीं आया पेस्ट का तो इसका मतलब ये मिक्सिंग नहीं हुई है। फिर हम जो हमारा सैंपल है उसको ग्लास पैनल छोटा सा 3x6 इंच का ग्लास पैनल लेंगे और उसके साइड बाई स्टैंडर्ड का भी सेम पेस्ट बनाएंगे और उसको बैक साइड से हम इसकी देखेंगे, दोनों के बीच में डिमार्किंग लाइन जितनी अगर प्रॉम्प्ट है तो इसका मतलब उनकी स्ट्रेंथ डिफरेंट है। अगर वो लाइन नहीं है, ऑलमोस्ट सेम साइज आ रहा है, तो टिंटिंग स्ट्रेंथ बराबर है स्टैंडर्ड के। सो ये हमारा फोटो कोटिंग का। आप लोगों को क्वेश्चन हो तो हमें अच्छा लगेगा जी।
तो जब अप्लाई करते टाइम जो ट्रांसफर कोटिंग के किन पैरामीटर्स पे डिपेंड करेगी?
वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन। जो ट्रांसफर एफिशिएंसी है, क्योंकि ट्रांसफर एफिशिएंसी इज रिलेटेड टू चार्जिंग ऑफ द पाउडर, तो डेफिनेटली हमारी रेजिन कंटेंट उसमें कितना उस पर डिपेंड है। अगर मैट फिनिशेस है तो हमको 50% रेजिन कंटेंट देना पड़ेगा, और अगर ग्लॉसी है तो हमारा 50 to 60% तक ले जाएंगे। बट क्लियर है तो वो तो 100% हो जाएगा। क्लियर में यानी रेजिन, इपॉक्सी पॉलिस्टर या पॉलिस्टर PGIC, फ्लो एंड बेंजीन, ये केवल 4 इंग्रेडिएंट हैं। कभी कभी प्योर पॉलिस्टर में इट गिव्स वाइट यानी वाटर वाइज फिल्म, बट कभी कभी हमारा इपॉक्सी पॉलिस्टर है ड्यू टू पॉलिस्टर इट, तो वहां पर हम वायलेट का हल्का सा टिंटिंग करते हैं, यानी उसमें एक मास्टर बैच बना लेते हैं और उसका 10% मास्टर बैच को 1 ग्राम डालेंगे, वो तो फॉर्मुलेशन पोर्शन है, हल्का सा हम वायलेट डालेंगे जिससे वो जो येलो टोन आ रही है वो हट जाए। या कभी कभी ऑप्टिकल ब्राइटनर वगैरह भी डाल सकते हैं, या आप लोग जब इंडस्ट्री में आएंगे तब पता चलेगा। और कोई क्वेश्चन भाई? जी। देखिए इंडिया में भी नहीं हो रहा है, इंडिया में हमारे पार्ट पर हो रहा है उसका। हाँ सर, क्योंकि इंडियन की जो ड्राइविंग मतलब जो प्रैक्टिस है ना वो बहुत हुआ है, क्योंकि पाउडर कोटिंग एक बार हो गया उसका टचिंग और नहीं, लेकिन अगर दोनों कार टकरा गई तो उसमें कैसे करेंगे? जो डैमेज हो गया है तो हम लिक्विड में तो NC लेकर से उसे कोटिंग मतलब उसकी री फिनिशिंग कर सकते हैं, बट पाउडर कोटिंग जब तक पूरी पार्ट निकाल के चेसिस को ही पूरा कोटिंग करना पड़ेगा, वो पॉसिबल नहीं इंडिया में नहीं है। इंडिया में पार्ट जरूर है, और टाटा जो है अपने कॉमर्शियल व्हीकल का जो केबिन है उसको कोटिंग करता है, JCB पूरी पाउडर कोटिंग कर रही है। लेकिन हमारी जो कार्स हैं क्योंकि ये थोड़ा अच्छी दिखनी चाहिए इसलिए इन पर इनके पार्ट होते हैं, जैसे वाइपर है, ब्रेक शू है, काफ़ी कुछ इसमें पाउडर कोटिंग yes, on like hangers उसमें थर्मोप्लास्टिक यूज होता है। फ्रिज के अंदर जो जाली है जिसमें हम सामान रखते हैं वो दे ऑल आर थर्मोप्लास्टिक। सॉरी TG is important for not making it lumps, ठीक है? So TG for the polyester resin it should be more than 60 degree. अगर हम फ्लो बढ़ाएंगे, फ्लो एडिटिव एंड फिलर्स बढ़ाएंगे यानी रेजिन कंटेंट कम करेंगे तो TG रिड्यूस हो जाएगा सर, उसमें लम्प्स बनने के चांसेस हैं। दादा आपका क्वेश्चन पूरा नहीं हुआ। जी बेटा। एक्चुअली इंडिया में जितने भी पाउडर कोटिंग हो रही है वो 3 ही हो रही हैं, इपॉक्सी पॉलिस्टर, प्योर पॉलिस्टर एंड पॉलीयूरेथेन। एक्रिलिक और एक्रिलिक यूज़ कर सकते हैं, एशियन ने स्टार्ट किया था जो अपना फर्स्ट प्लांट लगाया था कासना में, उसमें उन्होंने एक्रिलिक यूज़ किया था, बट एक्रिलिक और जो इपॉक्सी पॉलिस्टर है वो कंफर्टेबल नहीं है आपस में। तो जब एप्लीकेशन एंड पे जाएगा तो उनको एक्रिलिक के बाद अपना पूरा प्लांट वॉश आउट मतलब पूरा वाटर से क्लीन करके तब दूसरा पाउडर यूज़ कर सकते हैं। तो इतना कोई भी पेशेंस नहीं रखता है, इसलिए इंडिया में एक्रिलिक अभी यूज़ नहीं हो रहा है। यस ये एक्चुअली देखिए यहाँ पर तो हमें पूरा फॉर्मुलेशन करके पूरा मिक्स करना पड़ेगा, एक्सट्रूड करना पड़ेगा, ग्राइंड करेंगे, अप्लाई करेंगे, क्यूरिंग के बाद पता चलेगा उसका शेड क्या है। ठीक है। तो जब इंडस्ट्री में आता है तो वहाँ पर हम लोग अपनी कुछ शॉर्ट फॉर्म निकाली हुई है कि जैसे जो प्रीमिक्स है उसको एक पैनल को हॉट प्लेट पे रखेंगे, प्रीमिक्स को थोड़ा सा चम्मच से लेके उस पर रखेंगे जिससे रेजिन मेल्ट हो जाए और वहाँ पे उसको रब कर देंगे। तो काफ़ी कुछ हम लोग को अपने एक्सपीरियंस से शेड का आइडिया हो जाता है। अदरवाइज हमारा प्रोसेस यही है। ऑटो कोटिंग में यही दिक्कत है। तो इसमें क्या रहता है कि जैसे सपोज आपने ब्लू कलर बनाना है, तो अगर हमको 1 टन बनाना है तो पहले हम 100 kg बनाएंगे या 20 kg बनाएंगे अगर हम फर्स्ट टाइम बना रहे हैं। और फर्स्ट टाइम में भी हमको लेबोरेटरी एक्सट्रूडर पे पहले उसको डेवलप कर लेते हैं। वहाँ पर हम 250 ग्राम का भी सैंपल ले सकते हैं, ठीक है। जब हमारा कलर बन और सपोज हमने 100 kg का बैच किया और उसमें कलर मैच नहीं हो रहा है तो दूसरा ट्रायल और लेना पड़ेगा। और फिर उसका एवरेज, जो हमारा प्री मिक्सिंग होगा वो 100 kg का होगा या 200 kg होगा, तो उसमें हम क्या करेंगे, ये 10 kg या 20 kg के सपोज 4 डालिए और एक 20 kg फ्रेश लेंगे और इन सबका एवरेज कैलकुलेशन करेंगे, उसके हिसाब से फिर फुल बैच आ जाए। जी हाँ जी, नहीं बाद में कुछ नहीं करते। बाद में केवल हम फ्यूम्ड सिलिका डालेंगे जिससे कि पाउडर एप्लीकेशन के टाइम पे जब गन में अप्लाई होता है तो वहाँ पर एक कंटेनर होता है जिससे पाउडर इट बिहेव्स लाइक ए लिक्विड, पूरा जैसे खौलता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ एयर। तो अगर फ्यूम्ड सिलिका नहीं होगी तो प्रॉपर वहाँ पर फ्लोट नहीं होगा, तो गन में से भी प्रॉपर निकलेगा नहीं, वो फ्लोट करके आता रहेगा गन से। कहाँ पर नर्व लग रहा है। हाँ समझ गया। ये क्या होता है, अगर हमको सिल्वर कलर करना है तो वहाँ पर क्या करते हैं, बेस पाउडर बनाना पड़ता है और उसको हम लोग फिर मेटेलिक के केस में बिल्कुल ऐसा होगा, वो पोस्ट ब्लेंडिंग होती है। सिल्वर, एल्युमिनियम, गोल्ड, कॉपर, ये सारे पाउडर मेटल पाउडर होते हैं, उनका कुछ रेशियो में करके पोस्ट ब्लेंडिंग करते हैं। और इसी तरह हैमरटोन फ्रीज भी बनाएंगे तो भी पहले बेस पाउडर बनाएंगे और उसमें हैमरटोन के लिए एडिटिव आते हैं, उनको डालने से वो जो फिल्म स्मूथ बनती है वो ब्रेक हो जाती है, वो हैमरटोन फिनिश की तरह आ जाता है, वो भी पोस्ट ब्लेंडिंग करता है। हैमर मिल, दिस ग्राइंडिंग मिल, ओके जी। नहीं, वाटर इज नॉट यूज्ड। नहीं, actually no, due to chiller, that chilled water gets circulated into a radiator type, ठीक है, and that radiator is placed inside near to opening, certain opening of the mill, so only dry air is kept, no water is used. Yes. नहीं, if air is chilled, so there will be no choking of the powder. If air is not chilled and it is more than 25 degrees centigrade, so it will not reduce the grinding temperature of the mill, then only resin gets melted. Otherwise, if you are getting more chilled, so it is better. Yeah. No, actually, I am not getting. Where is water logging? There is no water comes in the mill. Only dry, chilled and dry air comes into the mill. No water. That is not water. that is melt form of the resin. So because that gets melted, because inside temperature is high, so when they open the mill, you can see here molten metal is there, but after some time it will get hard. Yes, it will get hard. So there is no water. It is only melted resin only. Only you have to place the chilled water, chilled air, or because during grinding, mill ampere, there is a parameter ampere, right? Mill ampere is if that is more than the HP of the motor. Suppose there is 20 HP motor is there, so mill ampere in any case should not be more than 22 ampere. If that is going up, so it will give more load on the mill. So definitely due to heat generation, due to friction, that resin gets melted. So this ampere, you can reduce the feeding of the chips inside the mill. You can reduce that. Okay. जी जी हाँ जी नहीं वो तो नहीं है इसलिए because this fluidized bed is not used, only fluidized bed are used in India only at Aligarh, because they are putting powder on the buckles of the shoes and some small pieces of the locks and all. So they are using fluidized bed. So fluidized bed, nothing like bathing tub. They are putting some spring into that, and when they give voltage, the spring there are two springs, so that both the spring gets vibrate. It gives vibration, and that will make a cloud of the powder. So the item, because they are small, they are placed on the hanger, and powder gets deposited on the substrate. That is not only gun is not used into that. Only this is just like a bathtub, and this I am very surprised. Only in Aligarh it is used, and old in India. Yeah. Otherwise, the electricity gun is used. No. Because in fluidized bed, the deposition is, you cannot control the film thickness, but in electricity gun, you can control the thickness. Yes.
I think read that possibly used in
No, in powder coating also, it is used. Yeah, it is used. Yes, thermoset. The first process of the powder used was dipping. The substrate are dipped in a bath of the powder. So, and for dipping, the substrate should be preheated also. Then only that powder gets deposited on the substrate, and after that they put into the oven. The second process was fluidized bed. The modern technique is electrolysis. हाँ सर, वो अभी यूज नहीं क्योंकि उसमें थिकनेस कंट्रोल नहीं होगा। इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस गन में थिकनेस कंट्रोल हो रहा है। सपोज लगता है कि हमारा पाउडर ज़्यादा लग गया है, तो आप एयर से उसको पाउडर को ब्लो ऑफ कर दीजिए, दोबारा ब्लो कर दीजिए। ये प्रोसेस नहीं चाहिए, केवल उसको अर्थ प्रॉपर होना चाहिए, तो ये पाउडर वहाँ जाके चिपक जाए। अर्थिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर हाँ सर। बैठे जी पाइप एक्चुअली तो वहाँ पर हमको मोर देन 100 माइक्रोन चाहिए होता है, इसलिए वहाँ पर प्री हीट करते हैं। और कई बार कोटिंग करके ओवन में डालते हैं। वहाँ से जब हॉट कंडीशन में निकल क्या रहा है उसी टाइम पे फिर से उसका रिकोट करते हैं, क्योंकि वहाँ पर थिकनेस बहुत चाहिए। अगर नॉर्मल कंडीशन है, बिकॉज एक बार हमने पाउडर कोटिंग कर दिया, सो ये एक इंसुलेशन की तरह से काम करता है, उसमें फिर चार्जिंग नहीं आएगा। यस, तो हमें फिर प्री हीट करना पड़ेगा। यस, सिंगल कोट में आप कर सकते हैं अराउंड 70 to 80 माइक्रोन, बट पाइप क्लोराइड में मिनिमम 100 माइक्रोन चाहिए। नहीं, प्लास्टिक में ABS पर कर सकते हैं। नहीं, प्लास्टिक की 200 डिग्री तक नहीं आएगा। अभी पाउडर हमारे टेक्नोलॉजी है, इंडिया में आई है लो टेम्परेचर क्योर पाउडर। जैसे नॉर्मल हम 200 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड पे क्योर कर रहे हैं, 160 तक आई हुई है, बट प्लास्टिक 160 भी विदस्टैंड नहीं कर रही है। नहीं, ABS में हमने देखा कई जगह यूज कर रहे हैं, वो एप्लीकेशन तो इसी तरह करते हैं, और इसी तरह ग्लास बॉटल्स वगैरह में भी पाउडर कोटिंग कर रहे हैं। आपका जो ओल्ड स्पाइस की वाइट बॉटल आती है वो पाउडर कोटिंग। सिरेमिक पे भी हम कोटिंग कर सकते हैं, बट प्लास्टिक पे नहीं कर रहे हैं। वुड पे भी कर रहे हैं कोटिंग। वुड पे टेक्निक डिफरेंट रहती है थोड़ा, जैसे बाकी सब्जेक्ट पे हम वर्टिकल करते हैं, वुड को हमें हॉरिजॉन्टल करना पड़ेगा और फिर ऐसे कोटिंग करना पड़ेगा, और उसको कन्वेयर ओवन में के अंदर डालना पड़ेगा, नहीं आएगा सर, इसीलिए उसको हॉरिजॉन्टल करना है। और उसको टॉप से हम कोटिंग करेंगे और उसको उठाएंगे भी नहीं, कन्वेयर से ही ओवन में जाएगी और दूसरे साइड से लेवल पे। हाँ, हो जाएगी जी, 200 तक हो जाएगा।
सर जैसे इपॉक्सी का लाइक अराउंड 95% यूज़ कर रहे हैं, मतलब इसमें रेजिन का कंटेंट यूज़ करें, तो अगर आउटर में लगाएंगे तो यूवी डिग्रेडेशन के चांसेस नहीं होंगे, क्योंकि यूवी स्टेबलाइजर या वो
हाँ, वो डालना पड़ेगा,
अच्छा करेगा।
बिल्कुल डालना पड़ेगा। UV स्टेबलाइजर भी होगा, और अगर लाइट स्टेबलाइजर जिससे वो येलो ना हो, इस एडिटिव सब पड़ेगा। ये हमने एक्चुअली बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट किया था। नहीं, यहाँ केवल एक्सट्रूडर हमारा है, और जो एक्सट्रूडर के आगे एलिमेंट लग जाए वहाँ भी मिक्सिंग हो जाती है। मिलिंग पाउडर कोटिंग में पॉसिबल नहीं है। आप ये मान लीजिए, इसीलिए हम जो भी रॉ मटेरियल यूज़ करेंगे उनका पार्टिकल साइज बहुत माइनर मिनिमम चाहिए, क्योंकि पाउडर कोटिंग में डिस्पर्सन हम टर्म बोलेंगे जरूर, एक्सट्रूडर में होगी, बट वो डिस्पर्सन नहीं होती, मतलब ग्राइंडिंग टर्म नहीं होती है। केवल उसको जो एग्रीगेट्स या फ्लोकुलेट्स है उनको ब्रेक करते हैं।
सर इसकी ड्यूरेबिलिटी सॉल्वेंट बेस्ड और वाटर बेस्ड, जैसे लाइफ स्पैन कार का जो पेंट होता है 10 से 15 साल का, इसका
इसको भी हम 10-15 साल यूज़ कर सकते हैं, बट कुछ कस्टमर हैं जो कि रिटर्न फॉर्म में मांगते हैं सर्टिफिकेट, हमको 10 साल लाइफ लिख के दीजिए, तो वहाँ पर हम फिर फॉर्मूला चेंज कर देते हैं। जैसे हमारा प्योर पॉलिस्टर वाला था, तो नॉर्मल पॉलिस्टर की जगह सुपर ड्यूरेबल पॉलिस्टर भी आते हैं, उनको हम यूज़ करेंगे, सुपर ड्यूरेबल पॉलिस्टर एंड TJS। एक्चुअली जैसे रिक्वायरमेंट होता है फॉर्मुलेशन चेंज कर देते हैं।
ग्लॉस डिपेंडेंट होगा, फिनिशिंग आप बैरियम सल्फेट बता रहे थे,
जी।
पिगमेंट्स भी enhance
नहीं, ग्लॉस में नहीं।
बाइंडर और
हाँ, पिगमेंट्स की जो डोज है वो उसके फिनिश पे जरूर इम्पैक्ट करेगी। अगर हमारा एक जो थ्रेशोल्ड उसकी मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट है उससे ज़्यादा हम पिगमेंट डाल देंगे तो ऑरेंज पील आ जाएगा। ऑरेंज पील क्या होती है?
अपीयरेंस होगा पेंट का,
जी,
उसका टेक्सचर ऑरेंज
जस्ट लाइक ऑरेंज।
रेफरेंस
जी,
छिलका होगा।
हाँ। सो लिक्विड पेंट और पाउडर कोटिंग में थोड़ा सा, पाउडर कोटिंग में हल्की ऑरेंज पिल रहती ही रहती है, तो यानी कस्टमर उसको ही देख के पता ले जाता है कि लिक्विड पेंट, अगर किसी ने समझो लिक्विड पेंट करके दे दिया और बोला पाउडर कोटिंग है, वो समझ जाता है कि ये चीट कर रहा है, क्योंकि लिक्विड पेंट एकदम स्मूथ होगा और पाउडर कोटिंग में हल्की और एक होगी, क्योंकि इसकी विस्कोसिटी थोड़ी हाई होती है। हम मिनिमाइज कर सकते हैं इसको, बट नील नहीं कर सकते। अगर हमें नील करना है तो फॉर्मुलेशन का कॉस्ट ज़्यादा आएगा, यानी उसमें हमें फिलर्स कम करने पड़ेंगे। रेजिन कंटेंट 70-75% तक लेता है। इसलिए जितने भी फॉर्मुलेशन है सब टेलर में है, ये सब सारे होते हैं। ये तो डिपिंग से ही होते हैं थर्मोप्लास्टिक, उनको प्री हीट करके जितने भी ये जो वायर केस के जो आइटम है, हैंगर ले लीजिए या जैसे टी स्टॉल पे वो गिलास रखने के लिए जो उनकी जाली होती है, रेफ्रिजरेटर में जो जाली है, ये सब थर्मोप्लास्टिक है। लेकिन रेफ्रिजरेटर का जो बाहर का कलर है वो थर्मोसेटिक है। जितने भी आजकल होम अप्लायंसेज हैं ऑल पाउडर कोटिंग, क्योंकि इसमें प्रोडक्शन रेट काफ़ी फास्ट है और लाइफ भी अच्छी है। एक हम स्लाइड मिस कर रहे थे, आपको और दिखाते हैं। आप लोग के लिए अभी स्लाइड चल देते हैं। आप लोग के जो करियर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से वो काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट है। अभी जो मार्केट पाउडर कोटिंग का इंडिया में है वो अराउंड $19 बिलियन का है, और जो वर्ल्ड का मार्केट है वो अराउंड $90 बिलियन मार्केट है। तो इस टाइम एज ए टेक्निकल पर्सन पाउडर कोटिंग फील्ड में बहुत गैप है, क्योंकि अराउंड 25% से ग्रोथ हो रहा है पाउडर कोटिंग का। तो आप लोग के लिए बहुत अच्छा कैरियर है पाउडर कोटिंग का। और देखिए हमने 89 में जैसे पाउडर कोटिंग में गए, पहले क्वालिटी कंट्रोल में थे, फिर प्रोडक्शन में गए, फिर मार्केटिंग सर्विसेज में भी गए, और हमारा कैरियर ऐसा रहा था कि हम पहले हार्ड कैसल में गए, वो भी नई टेक्नोलॉजी इंडिया में आई थी। फिर हमने रैपिड कंपनी स्टार्ट की, उनको बिल्कुल इंस्टॉलेशन से हम इन्वॉल्व थे। इसी तरह पैरामाउंट में भी था, सऊदी अरब में भी गए, स्टार कोटिंग। तो यानी हर बार मेरा कैरियर कंपनी को एक जीरो से स्टार्ट करने का था, तो उसमें सीखने को बहुत मिलता है। क्योंकि कोई कंपनी रन कर रही है, उसको चलाना तो बहुत आसान है, बट स्टार्टिंग में जो मतलब मशीनरी है उनको इंस्टॉल करना, उनकी जो ट्रबल शूटिंग है वो शुरू के ही 1-2 महीने में बहुत आती है, तो वो सीखने को मिलता है। अपने HPDI से काफ़ी लड़के हैं, जैसे अभी एशियन पेंट में भी एज ए कंसल्टेंट जाते हैं, वहाँ पर भी है कई लड़के आपके R&D सेक्टर में। और हमारे बैचमेट ही है राजीव गोयल जी, वो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है वहाँ पर। राजीव हाँ नहीं अतुल से बात, हाँ गौरव है। एज ए कैरियर पाउडर कोटिंग में अगर आएंगे, क्योंकि यहाँ पे स्कोप बहुत है, पूरा हर साल कम से कम 10-12 कंपनी नई जनरेट है, और वहाँ पर टेक्निकल लोग नहीं है। तो हमारा आज ये लेक्चर देने का भी पर्पज़ ये था कि आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा मोटिवेट करें, और कोटिंग में आप लोग, क्योंकि लिक्विड पेंट में टेक्नोलॉजी तो है बट उसका प्रोडक्शन बहुत ईजी है थोड़ा सा। और अगर आप एक बार पाउडर कोटिंग में सीख गए तो यहाँ पर आपका कैरियर बहुत अच्छा है। आज की अगर हम बात करें तो उनको ट्रेंड लोग पाउडर कोटिंग में, मतलब कम से कम 5-6 साल का एक्सपीरियंस, कम से कम 50 लोग चाहिए, इतनी डिमांड है। कई बार हमने सर मथानी साहब से बोला है, तो अभी तो मैं 24 के 2 बच्चों से भी बात हो रही थी, बाद में लास्ट में वो शायद शालीमार में चले गए। इसमें एक्चुअल टेक्नोलॉजी है, और क्योंकि जैसे अभी हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे थे, शेड मैचिंग थोड़ी सी टिपिकल है, तो इसलिए वहाँ पे अपने टेक्नोक्रेट्स चाहिए।
thanks a lot for this very wonderful session. I hope everyone has enjoyed and learned a lot. First year paint, कितने लोग हैं फर्स्ट ईयर पेंट? कुछ समझ आया? फर्स्ट ईयर पेंट को कुछ समझ आया पाउडर कोटिंग के बारे में? आई थिंक अभी तो कोटिंग से इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं हुए होंगे तुम लोग, तो बहुत कम समझ आया होगा, बट सेकेंड ईयर, थर्ड ईयर एंड फाइनल ईयर आई होप उनको काफ़ी बेनिफिट मिला। और फाइनल ईयर के लिए तो मतलब कमेंडेबल है, इन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छा इंटरेक्शन भी किया। थर्ड ईयर से थोड़ा इंटरेक्शन कम रहा, सभी ने लर्न किया होगा, मैं वो करता हूँ। So now I would like to invite Professor Pramod Kumar to say a few words about the lecture. How was
Thank you, Durgesh, for giving me this opportunity. At the very outset, I wish to compliment all the faculty members of the department, especially Dr. Radha Sachan, Dr. Durgesh, and Jodi, for choosing such a nice topic for the benefit of the students. A nice topic and an excellent speaker for that. That's very good. He deserves definitely a lot of congratulations because he has actually done justice to the subject. He has brought him down to the level of the students. He has talked like this as if a teacher is talking to the students. I think the things were very, very clear. And I appreciate that there is a good attendance on the part of the students. All years, I guess, right from first year, second year, third year, and final year as well. Third year, again, did you check how many students are there from third year? Can you raise your hand, please? Good number, good number. Very good, very good. Final year? Very nice. Very, very good, very good, very good. Second year? Very nice. Very uniform distribution, right? That's very good. So, because he has discussed the powder coatings very, very thoroughly in length, width and depth as well. Right from the very basics of the definition of powder coatings, the ingredients, formulation, manufacturing machinery, testing, troubleshooting, all I think he has covered very, very well. That's why I met a few of the students in the morning itself. Probably it was Ayushman from third year. I asked, have you brought your notebook? Because I brought my notebook. I noted down many things. I think students also took a lot of interest, keen interest, and they had a good, very good interaction with the students. I was very happy to see this. So, with this, I once again congratulate Kuldeep for such a wonderful talk for the benefit of my students. I hope this will continue. This is not the end. This is the beginning. I think we will keep on inviting him every time. So hope he will. He can use a different topic every day. Okay, very nice. Thank you very much. With this, I congratulate once again on your.
लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग इस पूरे सेशन का यूट्यूब पे हो रहा है, बाद में भी आप इसका रेफरेंस ले सकते हैं, देख सकते हैं। और मैं रिकमेंड करूँगा कि सभी लोग देखें, इंक्लूडिंग फॉर्मुलेशन, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, टेस्टिंग, एप्लीकेशन, सब कुछ करने बहुत अच्छे से बताया, उसको आप लोग देखो, बार बार देखो।
और अगर इसको और डीप में देखना चाहते हैं, एक साइड कंसल्टेंसी कुलदीप वर्मा का एक यूट्यूब चैनल भी है हमारा, उसमें बहुत डिटेल में अराउंड 60 वीडियोस डाले हैं। और अभी 10th नवंबर को हमारा एक कॉन्फ्रेंस है सर दिल्ली में, तो अगर कुछ बच्चे आना चाहते हैं, हम उनके लिए कंसेशनल रेट पे एंट्री वहाँ पे करा सकते हैं। बताने सर को हम बता देंगे।
Now I would like to invite Dr. Radha Sachan for proposing a vote of thanks for the program.
Here I am to give a vote of thanks in a formal way. So first of all, I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Samseer, to provide this facility and opportunity to arrange this program and this auditorium, permission to use this auditorium. Next, I should use Professor Arun Mathwani Sir to give a guidance and insight in this lecture so that we can get academia interaction. And next, I would like to thank Professor Pramod Kumar Sir to give a guidance and encouragement to arrange this lecture. And Next, I would like to thank Engineer Kuldeep Verma sir to deliver this lecture, which is very insightful and it's an in-depth knowledge of powder coating, which I obviously we faculty also learned a lot. We are not having that much knowledge, so thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And after that, I would like to thank Dr. Durgesh Soni to arrange this huge arrangement and the on-time arrangement for all the things and mentoring all the students to give this arrangement and to connect all these students for the attending the program. And all the faculty, guest faculty, staff, and Anupam sir from Anupam Paint, Suresh Srivastava sir, to attend this lecture and to give our help insight for this arrangement and for the this lecture. After all this, I would like to thank all my students, this final year, third year, second year, and first year also. And if there are any other students, MTech also, and I will here to attend this lecture and to get the knowledge, also to arrange all the things at the last moment, like arranging all this, this screen and whatever arrangement is required for the voice and all, live streaming for this photography and all. So I would like to thank all the students for their interest and their attendance. Good attendance is there. I'm very happy that all the students are present here and they have they gain the knowledge with the sir's lecture. Thank you so much.
Now, at the closing of program, I would like to invite Sri Suresh Srivastava sir. Please, sir, honor our chief guest with a memento. Thank you everyone. Thank you sir. Thank you for attending and बहुत अच्छा attendance रहा. आगे आने वाले इवेंट्स में भी ऐसे ही आते रहना. Now you can disperse. Thank you.
ये पेंट टेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट में हो रही है इंस्टा पे नहीं यूट्यूब पे